this time back with another floppy drive. It's an Amiga 2000 floppy drive. It's described as may need a clean-up, not working. I'm sort of suspecting it might not work, to be honest. It's had a bit of an impact here because that's sort of like out that way. I don't know if you can see that, just marginal. Like it's had a bit of a knock. It was well packaged. So we're just going to start by, well, connecting this up, I think. Let's get a power cable on there. I'm not sure whether you need to do anything different with the cable on a 2000. I think you do, but I think as default on a single drive setup this should just work. I think if we just plug this in with the keyed bit like that there, so it's got the key for the connector there, which is nice. And connect this up to the Rev 6 here. I've gone with this because it's got the keyed power connector. I don't want to kill the drive with the thing around the wrong way there. Pin 1 on the cable is to the right here, which should be that way around. Connect power up. Yeah, the drive's making noise, which is good. Let's get test kit into it and just see what it does. It's clicking now, it's doing the usual click. That's booted. That's booted. I think this is hopefully just going to be a clean-up. Yeah, you can see it booted test kit there without an issue. This is going to be the shortest video in the world, isn't it? Let's do a read test. Now, there is a corruption on this disc. There's like one sector or something as it gets a bit further down. It's usually down here somewhere. It'll come up red. But because test kit, the software we're using here, is quite small, it doesn't overlap the part where the disc is corrupted. It's actually a hardware fault on the disc itself. So when we do get an error in a minute, I know that that's well, that's explained. Yeah, there it is. There might be one more, I can't remember. I don't think there is, I think it's just that one. What's interesting about that is how that manifests as well. Like you could see we booted the software here and the whole program is loaded into RAM, no issues at all. You stick this in Workbench, yeah, once the Workbench is booted up, and it comes up saying there's some sort of validation error, there's an error with the disk, there's a corrupted sector or something. Yet you can boot it like this way. It's bizarre. I'm not really sure what thing Workbench is doing where that becomes a problem. So if we do a head calibration test, let's just do this 1111, and then we can go up the disc here, go up 10 tracks, 10 more tracks, 10 more tracks, and I'm just checking this 1111. I don't even think it needs a clean. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we saw a 1011 there. I think it does need a clean. Number 70, let's just go up one at a time. 71, 2, 3, 4. Getting near the end. Yeah, that's all good. I'm just going to clean it up. I've wanted a second drive ever since I had my own 2000 back in the day. Mine was a 1500, and those 1500s, they came with I think a mega chip, and they had 2 floppy drives. So I figured, why not get an extra drive into mine? I'm never going to put anything else in that drive bay. I could fit a Gotek or something, but yeah, I'd prefer a second floppy drive, I think. The interesting thing with these 2000 drives is they don't have a flap. So what I mean is, when you look at the front here, there's no flap, there's just a hole straight in. Like, what would be thinking? What was wrong with having a flap? I don't know. It's a very strange one. Yeah, this screw here needs a very fine headed screwdriver. So I'll just get the jeweler's screwdriver out to try and get onto that. There we go. Wow, that was tight. So I think this is a 354, isn't it? Yeah, it's an FB 354. Probably an idea just get these cables here, actually. And I'm just going to get the wrist strap on. I don't want to take any chances. I mean, I'm very pleased that this drive just seems to work, to be honest. And it might be an idea just to remove the front, because that's probably what we're going to need to do here. Yeah, there's a clip on each side, just gently press those a little bit. And then it's clipped to the top here, I think, so I must remember how this, there you go, comes off like that. So I think this is the same drive that, you know, would have been in some of the 500s. How does that come out of there now? This is a bit of a chicken and egg thing, like how did it ever get in there? Check out the links down below to some of my other floppy drive repair videos to go into slightly more detail. We have different issues. How were these ever assembled? It's worth watching to the end because you'll see a summary of what you need to do really to add 2 drives to something like this machine. Is it catching here on that? I think it might be doing. That black plastic there is just catching on that. Yeah, there we go, it's starting to come out. Wow, that's pretty tight. Just put that there a sec. So it definitely needs to clean up because look how dirty that is. That is filthy. Wow, look at all the fluff and dust back here. So yeah, we'll just start with the cotton buds. Some IPA and the cotton buds. And let's just start to clean up. Really dirty. But you see, in part, that's going to be because it doesn't have that flap. The dust's just going to come straight through the drive. I would argue that the 2000s might end up with the most unreliable floppy drives. Yeah, I would say that this was well advertised on eBay when it said it probably needs a clean. This is the dirtiest one of these I've ever picked up. Do you know, I almost feel like putting this in the ultrasonic cleaner and cleaning the whole drive in the ultrasonic. It'll really dirty the tank up there. And I'm not really sure that would be a good idea with the IPA, because the IPA could get into some of the head assembly there and plastic parts, you know, bits where it's glued down and epoxy and stuff, and it could loosen something up where you don't want it. So, as tempting as it might seem to just put the whole drive as is straight into the ultrasonic, I don't think that that would be a wise thing to do. These buttons always get smashed off. I mean, I didn't really need like an extra floppy drive for the 2000. It's more a case of, well, let's say nothing else is going to go into that gap, yeah. And alright, I've got the cover on mine, and I'll put the cover inside the machine so it doesn't get lost. The 3.5 bay, that is. It's a case of, you know, I can copy discs now easier with 2 drives connected there. I mean, I've got a few external drives, so I could, you know, go to external drives to do that. But it's a case of, you know, if the 2000 drive ever fails, I'm kind of a bit knackered, you know, and you do need, well, you don't really need, but if you want it to look right, you do need one of the original drives, because, you know, the fascia here, this plate, is not the same height as a standard 3.5-inch drive. It's a bit bigger. So if you were to modify one of the compatible 3.5-inch drives to work, it just won't look right. And of course, try and find a floppy drive that's got that shade of beige. You know, they're not like that, are they? They're cream generally. Look how thick that is here. It's like right blocking things and getting all over the mechanism. I need the cotton bud again. Another thing you could do is if you've got like, you know, access to compressed air, is start with that, you know, blow it all down first and then just get off all of the sticky stuff with cotton buds and IPA. But I don't have a compressor. Yeah, just to the shape of some of the stuff, it's quite hard to clean. It's, again, it's one of these things where maybe a brush is a good idea as well. Either use compressed air at the same time or vacuum it. But anyway, we should be able to get right into all these corners and things that way. So, being very careful not to lift up very far here, just like sort of where it feels like it naturally wants to stop. Get the cotton bud onto the lower head and just gently wipe on a squeaky squeak just a little bit, and as you overshoot the sides, be mindful, because what you don't want to do is snag it at the side and pull the head, because you will damage the connections to it and potentially just wrench it off. I'm going to clean around that and then clean on the metal part around it gently, like that. Get a new cotton bud. Yeah, you can see the dirt and dust that's come off that there. And if you've got a really dirty head that's got like friction marks and things that you might be able to see under magnification, use some plastics on it, or Novus plastic polish, because they have like a, you know, they're made with a, I don't know what the coating is. I was going to say ceramic, I don't think it is. It's like some sort of high density plastic surface. They're very smooth and shiny, but you can get stuff smeared on them, and it doesn't come off unless you use plastic cleaner. That top head there, being very careful. So again, I'm just going to clean gently around it. Oh, I'm not sure I snagged it there. Hopefully I haven't just messed up the alignment. So I'm going to clean there for good measure. Let's just see if we can move the head out. Yeah, and you can do that by, there you go, press it onto the bar with the cotton bud like that. Just move it right out. It just allows me to clean right up and down around here. Yeah, so I started using a metal tool to apply this. Don't use cotton buds, as you've seen me do on a few videos, just because you get fibres. Yeah, cotton buds have got fibres there, and just occasionally you might find one strand of cotton or something that's got on there. So yeah, I'll just get a load of that around there, you know, liberally sort of smear it onto that. That'll do. You can wipe off any excess in a minute. The other place on something like this you might want to get it as well is here, into these parts of the carriage. And I think with that, I will just use a cotton bud just to try and squish it in and around like that. And again, I can wipe off any excess in a minute. Yeah, and just by virtue of doing that, you can see those are sliding in. Still some dust down there, look, I need to just clean that a sec. And get onto the spindle, so we've got a couple more things to clean still. Just going to get some deoxit onto those there, like right onto them, and then it will settle, you know, it will go. If you push this down, and let's try and do my finger, a few times like that. This I'll need to do there, I think. Can't see what I'm doing. Right, I think we'll give that a go. Yeah, be careful not to hold any of the parts that move. And let's just switch that on. So the head just moved back to track 0. Booting with that issue. And again, we'll just go into the read test, just read the full disc. Should get that one sector that's bad. Yeah, bear in mind this disc is not very good. 76, 77, 78, 79. That's it. That's the last track. Back to 0. Right, I've moved the 4000 off the top of it, so I now need to undo the 4 screws on the sides, if I can. There we go, get leverage with this tiny screwdriver. And this, I think there's 1 or so screws on the back, aren't there? So, anyway, report back. Yeah, and the lid is up and off. I'm going to take an opportunity actually to just take the compact flash card out of this. Put this on the PC, I'm going to put Final Fight on it and 1 or 2 other games. So, from the lid, we need to remove that, don't we? So, I'm not sure if that's stuck in there. And you might just be able to see that it's screwed in, so I'm just going to undo those 2 screws. And again, like I say, I'm going to rehome this inside that plastic bag that sits inside my 2000. So, you know, it's got all its original parts should someone want to take one of those drives out and put the plate back. Right, and now, unfortunately, I need to remove this drive assembly, don't I, in order to get the screws on the underside. Oh, so annoying. Let's unscrew these things. I love the 2000, I really do. It's one of my favourite machines. Yeah, and I'm actually mistaken. You can unscrew the drive plate. There are screws on the sides here, so let's just get those out. One thing I don't like about these big box Amigas is, well, I'm trying to upgrade the balloon things. It's alright when you've got loads of bench space, I don't. I have like 0 desk space here. Yeah, this comes off, that's it. This has only got 3 screws, look. Anyway, those are tightened up now. I don't know whether those were loosened to make it fit better with the actual front bezel, you know, because there might be some alignment issue there. Anyway, let's go and get some more screws and screw the other drive in. Yeah, I'm just using PC floppy drive mounting screws here, and everything seems to be okay. You know, the thread is just right, the length of these is just right. So the same screws you use for mounting a floppy drive in a PC fit fine. There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if this plate is bent because they're nearer to each other here, look, at this point. This might be why I think they were loose. And I'm tempted to just leave these just fractionally loose, just the way it was, because I think otherwise I'm going to have issues with the plastic bezel on the front. I will find one extra screw to fit there for that missing one as well. Finally, after what felt like an absolute eternity, and this has been a trauma, let's just see if that's going to detect that now. Hang on. No, there's still some issue. Saying DF1 question mark. Oh, I don't know. Let's take that out, let's put workbench into that drive and just see if that'll detect it. No, but it's looking here again. Oh, I do not know what is going on here. Right, I've removed J301 again. I always thought J301 needed to be on to disable the drive, but it turns out not on the later boards. It's something to do with whether you're using a high density PC compatible floppy drive or not. See what happens this time. Right, so it's not booting from there. Let's now try booting from that. Right, no access there. Let's put this in. I'm guessing that's not doing anything now. Previously it looks at this drive midway boot. And this is the thing that I don't get with this. It's got the proper cable with the twists in and everything. Unless I've got the twist on the wrong part of the wrong drive, I might need to swap these around. It's a complication where you have a twist. Yeah, it's not looking at this drive at all now, look. Right, J301 is back on. So I'm now just going to swap these around. Now, the crazy thing with these cables is it's like all blue, red, white, and there's no right pin 1 marking. So the blue stripe was on the right there, and on here the blue stripe's on the left. So the blue stripes go outwards. So I'm going to swap these around under the assumption that that's the issue, but it might not be. And this is the thing, now the wire's not going to reach, is it? I don't think. Blue stripe on the outside. There's the blue stripe there. Oh God. Losing the will to live doing this, I tell you. I've been at it for about an hour and a half. And obviously you've got to pay very close attention to the power connectors, which both are different on these drives. How do I get that to go on the outside now? This is why I moved these drives around though. I swapped the left and right order, and I think I'm going to have to undo that and swap them back, because you know what, this wire's not going to reach here now, is it? Oh, for goodness sake, it's like Why does it have to be so difficult? There ain't no way that's reaching over there. I really despise Amigas sometimes. Let's see, even moving it's not going to do it, is it? I was going to say just try and move the drive bay over. Oh my goodness. I say, if I can't do this in a minute, I am going to give up. You may find that hard to believe, but I'm going to give up. Because it's sucking the life force out of me while I do this. It really is cheesing me off no end. It's very difficult working in this confined area to start with. Hang on, which drive am I removing here now? This one. But then it's just not conforming to logic. I've changed the jumper on it, and at that point we started to be able to, it read from DF1, the second drive, left drive here, sorry, the right drive, after it was booting from the first drive, and then you saw what happened. Suddenly it's accessing both at the same time on the side and drive selects. Well, it wasn't doing when it was booting. How did it suddenly cut over and start accessing both at the same time when it wasn't doing previously? This is what I don't get with this. You've got a twist in the cable to complicate matters. Right, let's just lift that, put this back there. Oh God, it's like the most ridiculous design ever. Right, so it's got its power, that's got power. So it was blue to the outer edge, wasn't it? Blue to the outer edge. I just want to see if this works. If it works, then it's just a case of trying to... Oh my God, I can't see what I'm doing here. I think that's it. Yeah, it's just a case of trying to fit them next to each other the right way round. Let's try that. See what happens this time. Because I'm assuming you see the twist is wrong according to the drive selects. This is the original drive that was on the right hand side with DF0. This was configured as a DF0, and I changed the jumper. I'll show you in a minute. Look, you see the motor on here is going. Why is the motor on there going? Now it's looking at that. Now it's gone back to there again. So far so good. What should happen is I should be able to eject that when we get to the desktop and put Workbench in there, and it should show Workbench on DF1. If it doesn't work, then I don't know, I'm lost. Now I've got a read error. Oh, flipping brilliant. There's also this issue with why my test kit has suddenly stopped working on the main drive on this. Let's try and boot test kit. Now at no point the power cables have been around the wrong way. I was very meticulous with that. I measured from the 5-volt pin on one of the 74 series to these power cables here just to make sure I was 100% certain where 5 volts is. Yeah, you see that disc is not booting. Test kit no longer works on this, and I don't know why either. What is that? Something to do with the drives not being right, or something? I don't know. It's something mysterious. Let me try booting sysinfo, see what that does. Maybe my test kit disc got corrupted. I'm struggling to read that. I actually think the heads on this need cleaning now. Please, God, let these problems just go away. Right, I finally achieved it. It's been an absolute trauma. So clean the heads up on that. Still wasn't reading any of the discs ripped pretty much. It's corrupted all my discs. The Workbench one's alright. So, I mean, I'll show you that now if I power cycle it. We can boot from Workbench. Got test kit in there that I've just to rewrite onto a new blank disc because it corrupted. And it didn't just corrupt it won't now format or write on my 1200. So, I don't know, the disc got perma-damaged by something. Maybe when they were both DF0s, maybe one drive started writing or something when it shouldn't be doing. I don't know. The bottom line is perma-damaged my floppy. 2 of them potentially. So this is now booting. You can see it's looking there. Booting from Workbench 2.1 here. I've got Kickstart 3 in here, but anyway, we've got the compact flash card out just now. So I think what I'm going to have to do is have DF0 on the right and DF1 on the left, just because of the cable and the way that these drives are different. You know, this one's got the connector here and the other drive's got the thing on the other side, so I'm going to need to swap them around on the plate to finish this installation off here. Can't believe how long it's taken now. I'm not kidding you, almost 2 hours to get a DF1. And as you can see on the screen there, we've got test kit. Yeah, we boot from Workbench. This is DF1, and if I double click on that, I'll show you the drive. If you watch this drive, test kit, it's looking here, but I think it's only because it's boot from here, and I can see test kit. Double click test kit, so both on. This is why I don't know, why is this on? I don't know, can't get around that, but it did boot test kit from that drive. So as far as I can understand, that's right. I think everything's working there. I'm just not clued up as to why are both these LEDs coming on at the same time when it's accessing DF1. I don't know. That might be just the way they work, I don't know. But the jumpers are alright. I can read them independently. I mean, I can try. Let's just see if we can boot from DF1. I'll power off, hold both mouse buttons down. So I've got task kit in DF1, boot options, here we go, DF1, use, boot. Now I'm not sure if the 534 is going to complicate matters here. Like with the IDE, you know, I had an extended white screen there, for some reason. Lasted about several seconds. Then it went black screen. And now, it's not looking at the drives look, so, I don't know. Maybe it's looking for the IDE again on the 534. This could be a 534 specific thing with trying to boot from DF1, but you should be able to boot from DF1. That is not looking at the drives at all, is it? Right, drive swapped around, marked up with red and black marks. I know exactly which way to get them. So you can see the new drive here. And the jumper on the bottom there was between the right hand two pins, and I just moved it to left two, and at that point it started acting like a DF1. But the only remaining thing with this now is when you access DF1, DF0 lights up as well. But it doesn't read it. Both lights come on at the same time with DF1, but you access DF0 and only DF0, so I don't know. Right, final power test. I tell you what, if I never have to go back in that again, it'll be too soon. Did I enjoy that? Not at all, at all. I hated it. I hated that. That was just traumatic. 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to add a B drive, you know, a DF1. It's just nuts how complicated that was. Yeah, so after the 3 hours I spent yesterday, here we are back the next day. It's only took me 20 minutes to get this far. Thanks to Pillock on my Discord, I've actually sorted this out. Now, he explained that the twist in the cable is the thing that is related to the LEDs. So when both LEDs come at the same time, you know you've got your cable wrong. Now, I did need the jumper changing here. I tried that back in its other position, you know, the left position. According to as we see it here, you know, the bottom row, bottom two pins jumpered on this new drive. And both drives access at the same time. So that's definitely the DF0/DF1. So I put it back into the bottom right position as we see things here now. You know, so it's like to that side on the bottom row, two pins joined. And then I still wasn't getting anywhere. And then I started thinking, I wonder if the cable is around the wrong way. Now, I put the blue line that's on one side of this here to pin 1. That's wrong. It goes the other way around, which means that the twist was somewhere else in the cable. And then it still wasn't quite right, and I had to swap the things around. And Pillock mentioned that I think DF0's got to be the last drive in the chain, I think, and DF1's in the middle. Could have got the wrong way around, I don't know. So the bottom line is testing every single permutation of connectivity here. We now have it where if I access test kit, that lights, and if I close that one down and access sysinfo, that one lights. They're not lighting each other, and everything's working, so amazing. So a massive thanks to Pillock for helping me with that final issue with both LEDs being stuck on. And just to summarise here, the cable you get with a 2000, it's got a twist in it, just like a PC cable has, but when I say just like a PC cable, it's in a different place. So you can't use a PC floppy cable that has a twist in it, because the twist will be twisting a load of different connections, I think 6 or 7 or 8 maybe, further down the cable in a different place, so you just can't use it. You could use it if you disconnected the twist, you know, like from the IDC connector, put it back in place so it's straight through, and then put a twist on the right place. So on an Amiga 2000 cable, it's pins 4, 5 and 6 that are twisted. That's where the twist is. Now if you think about it, when you twist 3 pins, the centre point there is going to remain unchanged. So pin 5 just passes through regardless of the twist of 3 wires, if that makes sense. So pin 4 goes to pin 6 and pin 6 goes to pin 4. So you've got just those pins switched. And on the schematics here, the connector, you can see pins 4 and 6 here. They are the in-use signals. So these are the signals the Amiga uses to light the floppy LEDs, i.e. the drive is in use. Drive DF0 is in use, flash, 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 or drive DF1 is in use, flash, flash, flash on that signal, on that line. So that's exactly why both LEDs were on, because my cable, the motherboard end was actually the wrong way around. So where the twist was for 4, 5 and 6, I am guessing, because they're, well, 2 of them, 4 and 6, were even pin numbers. Yeah, you tend to find you've got odd pin numbers on one side of the connector, even pin numbers on the other. So that twist was doing nothing. It was on the ground side. Yes, one of the cables is on the other side of the connector, pin 5 is on the odd side. So if you think about that's being flipped, but it's being flipped with itself because it's in the middle of 3 pins. I hope that makes sense. So when I had the cable round the wrong way at the motherboard end, nothing was being flipped. Yeah. Now, as a result, somehow I was getting corruptions, and I don't know how. That could have been, and I think that's erroneous on my part. I don't think it was the cable that was doing that. I think that was because I had both drives at some point on the same drive select. So whilst one drive's reading, another one's, I don't know, doing something. It's not quite enabled, but it's getting some signals. I don't know. I managed to corrupt 2 or 3 discs and had to rewrite all my discs there. And it was just unlucky that my test kit happened to have, you know, a physical defect on it. So yeah, in summary, you just need a twist on pins 4, 5 and 6, and that twist is on the end of the cable. Yeah, so you've got a connector on the motherboard, then you go all the way straight through to the first drive, DF0, and then all the way through with a twist to the next connector in the chain. The one at the end of the chain has got the twist on pins 4, 5 and 6 for your DF1, I think. And obviously you've got to set the drive select jumpers on each drive. So yeah, you've got, you know, a setting there for DS0, drive select 0, and one set to drive select 1. And then you also need to set J301 on the motherboard. That needs to be set, that jumper needs to be on. And then you should have 2 drives. Anyway, she's a beaut now, isn't she, with 2 drives. I mentioned earlier about tightening those screws underneath. I left them loose while I had the lid off in order to just trial the lid and get everything nice and square here. Now, if you've done one of these yourself, you know, if you work with the 2000 before yourself, you'll know that there's advantage in doing that, because you can then adjust the drives left, right, forwards, backwards, slide them around, because otherwise you end up with something slightly crooked. You know, there's a bit of tolerance in the screw holes. Instead of just being like perfectly round, they're like, you know, like elongated ones like that, so the screw can move anywhere around, in order that you can deal with any, you know, imperfections in the drive you fit in the chassis and everything. So yeah, that's what I did, and then I just, you know, tightened things up as I retried the lid. So we've ended up with it looking really good here. There's a slight additional sort of gap over there. It's the best I could do. And if it wasn't clear, because I didn't show you the back, the point when I was talking about the issue with the cable, trying to fit the cable, certain combination of direction there, you know, if you have this drive over there, the cable won't reach at all, because the distance between the 2 connectors was about yay big here. Yeah, and then this drive has got, like, I think the IDC connector for the drive here, and this one's got it like here. As soon as you swap those around, it's like this one goes to the far left, this one goes to the far right, and the cable is only long enough to go between here and here, if you see what I mean. It's actually a technical impossibility to use that cable with these drives the other way around. So you know, I don't even know which one's DF0 now. I think it's that one. And originally, I think it may have been fitted there, and it may have had a blanking plate there. I honestly cannot remember. So that's something to consider, that these, and that you can tell, these are different models. Can you see this one's got a little slopey slope here? This one hasn't. And honestly, it's been that long, I can't remember which one was the original one now. You'll know, because you'll have seen me cleaning this up in this video. So yeah, there's some, you know, differences between the models and variants there. When you come to get the faceplate back on, just make sure you guide that LED perfectly into, you know, the gap there. because you can easily just catch it a little bit and fold it back in as you put this plastic cover back on. But yeah, we covered that before on other videos. I think I looked at that when I took the A4000 one apart, when we looked at Katha's machine. Just setting out with a new game here. Hang on. Is that booting from there? It's booting from hard disk, isn't it? What I might need to do, although it went dirt. Yeah, it's definitely booting from hard disk. Yeah, that's coming up as done disk 1, so that's the right disk. Let me just try power cycling it. Yeah, just trying the other way around. I'm not sure if this is the new drive. I think it is. I think that's my original one. There we go, it's booting. So this is actually DF0, this is DF1. So this is a brand new game for the Amiga. I saw this on Jamie Morgan's channel. Well worth watching Jamie's channel. You'll always see the new bits of homebrew and stuff on his channel, and some classic old games as well. Covers the Amiga and the C64 and the Mega Drive and the PlayStation, various other things, but his main focus is Amiga, Commodore Amiga. It's quite cheap, this game. I'll try and, if I remember, I'll post a link down below. If you're interested in it, please just let me know, and if you don't see the link, and I'll post the link. It's looking at DF1 now. Let me stick the other disc into DF1. It is working. It's not working via the monitor, is what the issue is, because you can hear the sound. Let me switch the 1084 on. Yeah, so I've had to cut over to the 4000 there. The game does work on the 2000. The video, I can't connect to my LCD display, you know, it must be interlaced or something. Something's going on here, which is why the video's not right. And I don't have the RGB cable for this monitor connected to the 2000. But anyway, trust me, the upgrade there was fine. But anyway, nevertheless, I thought I'd show you this. If you're looking for something new to play over the Christmas period, then this is a really, really good game. Using the Mega Drive adapter from James over at Retro HQ. Those have started shipping now, and they sold out of stock straight away. I went on the website and one of the distributors to try and buy a couple because they're quite cheap, like around £15 each roughly, I think. Yeah, so using a Mega Drive pad is just a godsend if you ask me. Let's just click start. Yeah, it's very cool. I might need to adjust the H phase. I've been playing the Mega Drive on this a little bit, on this monitor. Yeah, it's a like little cutesy RPG game. So you start with your little warrior here with his sword and shield, and you kill the enemies. Oh, hang on. Try to kill the enemies, and obviously you get experience as you level up. There should be some little loot, you know, things to loot, treasure chests and stuff along the way. Playing very badly here. I'm getting hit by every single thing I encounter. Oh, you've got to collect the coins. I like the atmospheric sounds and things. And obviously, you know, you've got an XP bar that builds up, you've got health bar, mana bar, different armour and weapons and things you've got assigned to your body there. So far, everything is hitting me. Look at my health now. Hang on, I need some more food, don't I? Oh, it's like everything I'm touching is hitting me. There we go, look, I want gold. Yay. I think what you got to do is just like start hitting before they get anywhere near you like that. That's it. We've got a tiny little bit of health. Please don't die. I'm not going to make it to the end of this first bit, am I? Please have some health. Yeah, I made it to the end. At this point you go to the shop, so you can obviously, you know, power up. What did I get? 114 coins, so I could get leather armour, or I could get short sword. I think armour's going to be better, really. And then exit, because we've only got 14 coins left. And one on to the next dungeon. Now this is an actual dungeon, look. I quite like that shadow mask type thing, you know, where you can only see the area that's lit around you. Nice atmospheric sounds and things. How on earth do you progress here? Got to explore, looking for secret tunnels and switches. Oh, there's a key, look. There we go. So I quite like that. I like where you've got exploration. You've got to find the secret passages and find the hidden items. Very cool. It's very dark, this at the moment, isn't it? It's not very well lit. There's a lot of glare from the background lighting here. Oh, and I've just died. Anyway, yeah, well worth checking that game out. And check out Jamie's channel. Anyway, I do hope you found the video interesting. I've got some load more videos lined up. I did say I was going to get a load out before Christmas. I've been struggling because my health has been absolutely shocking. I've been so down in the dumps and stuff the last few weeks. So yeah, some more videos coming your way. It's not all mega exciting stuff. If you did like the video, please click the like button down below. If you don't want to miss out on future videos, click the bell notification down there. That'll inform you when new videos come out. And if you do like the channel, please do subscribe. There'll be links down below for Coffee and Patreon if you would like to support the channel. It just keeps the channel going. I cannot thank you all enough for the support that you provide. All on Patrons, all of the coffee donations, you're all incredible. Have a happy 2025. And I'll catch you in the next video.